Next topic is acceleration due to gravity and factors affecting it. Factors affecting it, right? Okay. So please see that whenever a body is falling freely under gravity, then acceleration produced in that body, developed in obviously produced in that body, is called the acceleration due to gravity, right? If body is at, see, if we are at the surface of the earth, if a point mass is on the surface of the earth, then acceleration due to gravity is given by capital G m divided by r square. It depends on radius of earth, it depends on mass of the earth, it does not depend on the mass of the body falling, right? So value of G is affected by various factors. Value of acceleration due to gravity changes as we move away from the earth's surface, that is with the altitude. Acceleration due to gravity changes when we go inside the earth, that is with the depth. Obviously the acceleration due to gravity also changes because of rotation of earth from place to place on earth, and the next one is the shape of the earth also changes the acceleration to gravity at equator and poles, because earth is not exactly a sphere. So let us see the variation with altitude and depth. First thing is variation with depth and altitude. So this is earth, right? If we are at height h, then acceleration due to gravity is going to be g dash, it is given by g r square divided by r plus h whole square, dear students. However, if this height is very small, right? If this height is very small as compared to the radius of earth, we get the value of acceleration due to gravity as g 1 minus 2h by r. Okay. So value of acceleration due to gravity decreases with height. This formula is valid for small heights. When percentage change in g is up to 3-4%, right? So when you go to a height which is comparable to radius of earth, say in several thousand kilometers, then you don't have to use this formula. This is an approximate formula. You can use this formula for all the heights, right? So this formula is valid in that case. So this is all about variation of g with height, with altitude above the earth's surface. Now what about the depth? So when you go in a tunnel that is at a depth d inside the earth's surface, acceleration due to gravity changes there. If value of acceleration due to gravity at the surface is g, then inside a tunnel at a depth d below the earth's surface, it is g 1 minus d by r. See, dear students, this formula is valid for all the depth, right? Formula is valid for all depths, right? All depths up to radius of earth. Okay, dear students, right? Next we have variation with latitude or rotation of earth. Variation with latitude, or you can say rotation of earth. So this is an earth, this is an equator. Latitude angle is lambda. At this point, the value of acceleration due to gravity is given by g minus r omega square cos square lambda. Right, dear student, this is variation of g with height. When height is comparable to radius of earth, you take the formula to be this one. When height is very small as compared to radius of earth, you take this approximate formula. For the depth inside the earth, we use this formula, and if we consider the value of lambda, latitude angle, then acceleration due to gravity is different at different latitudes, right? Okay. right? So now at equator is a 0 degree latitude. So acceleration due to gravity at equator is g minus r omega square cos square 0 degree. It is definitely g minus r omega square, right? Now at poles lambda is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so acceleration to gravity at poles is equal to g, and it is obviously maximum. So value of acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square, that is maximum at poles. Okay, so I have an very interesting question for you. Just think it twice. Suppose a person is flying in an aeroplane, right? Moving in an aeroplane, sitting in an aeroplane. Suddenly, both the engines of the aeroplane, stop working. Okay. Aeroplane is not at that height. It was, at somewhat lower height, right? So person decided to jump out of the plane since the engines have stopped working. So he has to jump in order if he want to save his life, right? Okay. So he decided to jump from the aeroplane. He opened the gate. Somehow he managed to jump the aeroplane, right? When he had fallen through height, listen to the question very carefully. When he had fallen through the height of say 100 meters, around 300 feet, then he sees that there is a bear, sitting on the ground, not beam, there is a bear sitting on the ground, an animal, right? Bear is an animal. Bear sitting on the ground, and he wanted to land on the, the stomach, on the back of that bear, because in that case, the bear, the skin of or the body of the bear is going to provide cushioning to him, and he may be able to save his life. So I'm going to repeat the question. Suddenly the person was sitting in an aeroplane. Suddenly both the engines of the aeroplane stopped working. He tried to escape out of the plane. He managed to jump from the plane after he has fallen through 100 meter with an acceleration of 9.8 meter per second square. Say when he has fallen through 300 feet with an acceleration of 9.8 meter per second square, he sees a bear sitting on the ground. Okay. So he wanted to land on the bear in order to save his life, on the back of the bear in order to save his life. When he is just about to land on the back of the bear, what will be the color of the bear seen by the person, right? Just apply all your concepts, all the physics you have learned so far, and tell me the color of the bear, right? Okay. So pause the video and just think what I am asking. What will be the color of the bear seen by the person? Okay. So I hope let us discuss the answer now. See, dear students, it was obviously not a numerical. The 100 meter value of 9.8 meter per second square, aeroplane engine stopped working, person somewhat escaped from the aeroplane is of no use. See, the only point was that the person was falling with an acceleration of 9.8 meter per second square for some distance, and he sees a bear below him. Obviously 9.8 meter per second square acceleration is only at the poles. That means the person is actually at the poles, at the Arctic or Antarctic, and you can find only the polar bear there. So color of the bear is going to be white. This was a, dear students, this was a joke in physics. Okay, so I managed to crack a joke with the help of physics. Okay, so at poles acceleration to gravity is going to be maximum, and at equator it is going to be minimum. So sometimes we are asked to calculate, dear students, what should be the angular velocity or what will be the duration of day if objects at equator may become weightless. What should be the duration of day? What should be the duration of day so that objects at equator may become weightless? Objects at equator may become weightless. Objects at equator may become weightless, Right, dear students, what should be the value of omega or the duration of day so that the objects which are kept at equator may definitely become weightless. Okay. Now, you know that acceleration due to gravity at the equator is g minus r omega square. You want the objects at equator to become weightless. So acceleration due to gravity at equator has to become 0. 0 is equal to g minus r omega square. So omega is going to be under root of g by r, right, dear students? This is under root g by r. For this value of angular velocity of rotation of earth, the objects at equator may become weightless, they will start flying, and the duration of day in that case will be, time period is 2 pi divided by omega. It is going to be 2 pi under root of capital R by g. What is the value of capital R? It is 6400 kilometers, 6400 into 10 to the power 3. Do we know the value of g? Yes, it is 9.8. So time period comes out to be approximately 84.6 minutes. Okay, this is actually 84.6 minutes. Right, dear students? See, 84.6 minutes is a very important topic. You will come across this time period many times. It is duration of day when objects at equator may become weightless. It is actually the duration of day when object at equator may become weightless, at equator may become weightless, right? Also, it is the time period of a simple pendulum of an infinite length. Time period of pendulum of infinite length, right? This is also the time period of a pendulum of infinite length, and it is the time period of oscillation of a ball in a tunnel across diameter or any chord of earth. Time period of oscillation of a ball in a tunnel across any diameter or chord of earth. And lastly, it is also the time period of a satellite that is orbiting very close to earth. So we will come across 84.6 minutes 4 times in physics. It is also time period of satellite orbiting very close to earth, dear students. Okay, this 84.6 minutes is actually very important. You will come across this value 4 times in physics, right? Kindly note down, dear students. Right, now the last factor that is affecting acceleration to gravity is the shape of earth. Right, dear students, it is slightly flat at the poles, the equatorial radius being greater than polar radius by 21 kilometers. So equatorial radius is greater than the polar radius by 21 kilometers. So obviously acceleration to gravity was inversely proportional to r square. So it is going to be greater at poles than at equator. This is all about the shape of earth. So actually the 4 factors affect the acceleration to gravity: height above the earth's surface, depth below the earth's surface, rotation of earth, and obviously the shape of the earth. Let us do some simple problems based on this. Okay. So the one very simple question: at what height above earth's surface, acceleration due to gravity first part says decreases to 36% of its value at surface, 36% of its value at surface. and the second part says decreases by 36% of its value at surface. Right, dear students? So this is very easy. See, decreases to 36% means 100 rupees become 36 rupees. Decreases by 36 means 100 rupees get decreased by 36 and they become 64 rupees. Okay. So this is, in both the cases, it is a large change. It is not going to be a small change. So we are going to use the formula for G dash as GR square divided by R plus H whole square. We are not going to use the formula G1 minus 2H by R definitely, because it was an approximate formula for small changes in acceleration due to gravity, right? When they say decreases to, that means G dash is going to be 36 by 100 of G, and this is actually GR square divided by R plus H whole square, right, dear students? I am going to cancel few things. This G is going to cancel. We get 6 by 10 as R by R plus H, okay? 3 by 5 as R by R plus H. 3R plus 3H equals to, dear students, is equal to 5 times R, and we get the value of H as 2R divided by 3, right? Okay. When they say decreases to and when they say decreases by, so when they say decreases by, that means 100 rupees get reduced by 36 rupees, we have got 64 rupees now. Obviously it is 64% of its value at the surface, We are going to cancel few things now. G gets cancelled. Let us take the square root. This becomes 8 by 10, that means 4 by 5. That is equal to R divided by R plus H, okay? So 4R plus 4H is equal to 5R, dear students. We get the value of H as R by 4, right? Okay. Now, see one important thing, that whenever we have to plot a graph of acceleration due to gravity versus distance from the center of Earth. See, value of acceleration due to gravity at a depth d inside the Earth was G dash 1 minus G1 minus d by R. So at a depth is equal to radius of the Earth, that is at the center of the Earth. The value of acceleration due to gravity comes out to be 0, dear students. The value of acceleration due to gravity at the center of Earth is 0. As we move from center to the surface, acceleration due to gravity decreases. It becomes maximum at the surface, then again decreases as 1 by R square, and inside it is directly proportional to small r, right? This is the graph that we have plotted for acceleration due to gravity, value of acceleration due to gravity from versus distance from the center of the Earth, dear students. Okay, so kindly note down, dear students. See, we have a question here. This is an easy question, or you can say this is an illustration. If you have a pendulum here at the surface, its time period is 2 pi under root L by G. When you take this pendulum to some depth inside the Earth's surface, right, then the new time period comes out to be 2 pi under root L by new value of G, where you know G dash is going to be equal to G1 minus d by R, okay. When you take this pendulum to some height h, which is actually much less than radius of Earth, then you get the time period of the pendulum to be, obviously you have to replace, every time you have to replace the value of G by G dash, and G dash has a different meaning everywhere. When height is very small, you have to use this approximate formula, dear students, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. This was an easy question. Kindly note down.